I hate theater. Oh, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for a show to begin? I pray. Oh, dear God, please let it be a good show. And let it be short. Oh, Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine, but 3 hours is too much. Keep the actress out of the audience, God. I didn't pay good money just to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story. And a few good songs that'll take me away. I just want to be entertained, I mean. Isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when people sat in darkened theaters and thought to themselves, what if George and Ira Gershwin got for us tonight? Or can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you believe it? Now it's, please, Elton John, must we continue the charade? It used to be sitting there in the dark. You knew that when the lights came on, you'd be transported to another world. A world full of color and music and glamour. You thought to yourself, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Hello. How are we today?
Good.
It's good. I'm feeling a little blue myself.
Oh.
You know, a little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad that I should feel anxious at this age. A little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness. A state that I call blue. Anyways, when I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So, I was going through my records this morning. Yes, records. And I was about to listen to the soundtrack recording of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. Then I thought to myself, no, let's have a treat. Let's disappear for a while into the decadent age of the 1920s, when the champagne flowed while the caviar chilled and all the world was a party. For the wealthy, anyways. So I dug about. What did I find? One of my favorite shows, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Lyrics by Julie Gable and music by Sidney Stein. It's a 2-record set remastered from the original recording in 1928. It's got the full cast, original cast, with Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? And this is a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you believe it? Here, let me read you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Well, of course, the phrase gay wedding has different meaning now, but back then it just meant fun. And that's what this show is, fun. So, would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you now?
Yes.
Yes.
I was hoping you'd say yes. That static? To me, that's the sound of a time machine starting up. Alright, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Morrison Theater in New York. It's cold out. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyways, it's cold. The gray sleet is falling from the sky, but you don't care because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? It helps you close your eyes. Overtures. I miss them. An overture is a show's way of welcoming you. Hello, welcome. Your meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? That's what an overture is, a musical appetizer. A poo-poo platter of tunes, if you will. What's this? Kind of rollicking? Maybe involving pirates? Don't worry, there are no pirates.
Wedding guests are at the door and soon they will appear.
Jovial gangsters posing as pastry chefs, a plate of foamy, a Lothario, and what we now call a lesbian. And of course we have my favorite character, the Drowsy Chaperone. What more do you need for an evening's entertainment? We will ding along. I don't even know what that means. All right, I'll do my best to lead you through the record. Don't worry, it won't be very hard. So, we begin with a welcome from the love-struck groom.
Well, I just wanted to thank you all for coming. I must be some lucky fellow. Why, who would have thought that I, Robert Barton, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl? And that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Oh. Now, if it weren't for prohibition, I'd say let's raise a glass.
Hear, hear.
To Miss Janet Vandegraff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not!
Excuse me?
It is bad luck for the groom to see the bride on the day of the wedding.
I hope you heard that. Because that's the plot. Basically. Hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
It's a little early to be drinking, isn't it? I don't understand the question. Look, your job is to keep Janet away from Robert. You're the chaperone. That's your only job. Aye, mon capitaine.
Oh, Robert, who's that little monkey?
I am. I'm your little monkey.
And so, with the bride and groom whisked away, we turn our attention to the B-plot, which involves the producer.
Getting married and leaving show. Doesn't she know I have obligation? Mr. Felton, you know I can be a leading lady. You said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, for the last time, you ain't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons, singing, acting, ballet.
Ballet?
Yeah, I'm pretty good too. Last week I auditioned for Swanee Lake.
A little annotation. Kitty and Felton were a couple in real life. Jack and Sadie Adler. It's a familiar comic construct. A stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, she appears to be stupid, but in the end she does something very clever. It makes everybody wonder if it was all an act. The irony here is that Sadie was actually quite stupid. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But still, she had a wonderful career on stage. Back then, theater was the only place where stupid people could make a decent living. This was before television, of course.
Kitty, I don't have time for this.
A petite four, Mr. Felton.
Not now, boys.
Perhaps a nice prefiddle.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, Oh, then perhaps we'll give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
No, the confusion is to be expected. Although we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs, we are also, and primarily, employees of a certain individual.
Certain individual.
A certain individual.
Who also happens to be the single largest investor in Feltzig's Follies, and he has sent us here
As pastry chefs.
to express his concerns about Miss Vandergraaf's impending nuptials.
Specifically,
That if she gets married and leaves the show, then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
no, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
Have you ever spent any time in a coma?
No, but I have a cousin in Seattle.
Please. Boys, tell your boss this wedding is never gonna happen. You have my word.
Oh, we'll take your word already.
Okay, but to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. Now I hope we have made ourselves perfectly eclair.
One can only hope.
Oh, you just gotta be kidding me. A trifle, Mom. Don't talk with me.
Drop the pastry chef routine.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the way.
Name's an entree, you macaron.
The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo, the Tall Brothers, John and Peter Tall. Born Abram and Mendel Malauskowitz, they were renamed at Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They were an early example of your typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movements. Not very intimidating, unless you find dancers intimidating, which I do, but for reasons that aren't appropriate to this situation.
Well, Mr. Feltzig, we'll leave the matter in your hands, but in the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise.
It's to die for.
Holy cats, Mr. Feltzig. They're gangsters.
Very perceptive. Now go patty up your face. Oh, I gotta stop this wedding. But how? Oh, Lord in heaven, how?
I always thought that moment was a little overplayed. So, with the story well on its way, let's go to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman. He started out as the Albright toothpaste man. His fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was hugely popular in the early 20s because it contained cocaine. It's true. If you looked at the label, it was the fifth ingredient down, right after sugar. Anyways, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now don't you worry. It's perfectly normal for the groom to be nervous on his wedding day. It is, of course.
Now, some people say that Percy Hyman was a bad actor. But to those people I say, shut up.
Hey there, Mr. Mirror Man, shaking and a-quaking, trembling like them pretty cats do. Something big be bothering. You know, cold beats, brother, you got cold beats. You can make
rice, the boutonniere, the minister. I've got the weight of a wedding on my shoulders.
George, sounds like you've got cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I need?
Cold feet.
What should I do? Scold feet?
No! You make the cold feet. George, look at you, you're dancing. Your ice water, sir.
Hyman was a wonderful performer. I always imagined him panting and sweating after a long dance routine. He's still alive, you know. Saw him on the news recently, celebrating his 100th birthday. Say that the past years had taken their toll would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had one of those pained expressions of confusion that God saves for the very, very old on their birthdays. The one that says, "Who are you? Who am I? Why is this cake on fire?" You know what I mean.
All right, I'm not dancing around like a fool.
Sorry, George. I was just trying to calm my nerves. It is my wedding day, after all.
Well, you could have broken an ankle. Tap dancing is too dangerous. Why don't you go for a skate? That's what I do when I need a little off steam.
George, what would I do without you? How do you exactly do this?
You just kind of go. You got this.
Whoa!
Oh!
thinking you might see Janet. Here, put on this blindfold.
George, you think of everything.
Just looking out for you, my boy.
But I can't see anything. But George,
I believe you.
you what? But how am I supposed to know where I'm going? Ah!
And remember, no more tap dancing. When bells will ring,
Just ignore it.
when bells will chime,
Does this occasionally. It rings. It'll be over soon.
when bells will celebrate.
Just ignore it. Want? What do you want?
Hello, you've reached my answering machine. Leave a short message after the tone, and I'll call you back at my convenience.
That's that. Moment is ruined. It's like a cell phone going off in a theater. God, I hate that. Hello, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just ruining the moment. How about you? Well, I couldn't get out tonight, so I thought I'd ruin the moment by proxy. Sorry, let's just shake that off. Let's bring our minds back to 1928. They didn't have cell phones back in 1928, but I'm sure they had something for the ruining of moments. Bugles or something. So the scene shifts, and we find the bride, the glamorous Janet Van de Graaff, entertaining questions from reporters while she lounges by the pool.
Miss Van de Graaff, is it true that you've given up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes, Robert and I met on the Lido deck of the Ile-de-France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned, briefly, and then we proposed.
So you won't be returning to the stage ever?
I shan't.
You shan't?
I shan't.
Can we quote you on that?
Of course. One more question? Yes?
Why in the world would anyone put olives in a gimlet?
I got a question. How can you give up the footlights when you know very well you got grease paint in your veins?
Victor, please.
Oh, Janet, I'm begging you. Don't feel mugs. Stay with the follies. I'll give you anything you want. I'll even... Oh, fine. I'll even put your name above mine on the marquee.
Victor, if you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. I don't want to show off. I don't want to wear this no more.
notice that Miss Vandergraft here has no intention of continuing her life on stage.
Can't you see it's killing her soul?
Don't worry, boys. This isn't over yet.
Yeah! I'm surprised she didn't do an encore. I don't want to
That was Jane Roberts as the bride. She was the Oops Girl, remember? Surely you remember the Oops Girl.
Nope.
Don't you people read? She was the girl that was filled with such great sexual energy that she would cause the men around her to have accidents. Spill their drinks and drive their cars into trees. And then she would go, I'm not doing it much justice, but people ate it up. She even had a whole series of films. Oops, The Oops Girl Come Home, and, Oops Girl at Sea, which won an Oscar for special effects.
Okay, begging and groveling didn't work. So on to plan B. And for this, I'll need an accomplice. Someone gullible with loose morals. I need what do you call her? A European.
In walks Aldolfo, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Aldolfo was played by silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Barton. He was the one who later drank himself to death in his chateau in Nice, remember? Because 5 days later they found his body. It had been partially consumed by his poodles. Well, at least he was only partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met.
I am Aldolfo.
You're Aldolfo?
Yes, I am Aldolfo.
Not the Aldolfo.
Oh, yes, I am Aldolfo.
Funny, you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yes, what?
Well, I just overheard the groom saying Aldolfo is a scoundrel. I just heard him say that.
What? Aldolfo is scoundrel.
Those very words.
Aldolfo is a scoundrel.
It's like I'm hearing it again.
This is outrageous. He's saying this to people. To beautiful ladies with breasts for making love. Why? I must.
You must take matters into your own hands.
Yes, I must take this broom into my hands and kill him.
Yes. No, don't kill him. Just hurt him enough so he can't get married.
Show me to this groom. Wait! What kind of a man is the groom? Is he a burly man? A big fellow?
He's big on the outside.
No. Aldolfo will not fight big men. Small, pale, easy fellow. Aldolfo can cut like a football far away. But no big men.
So, you're a lover, not a fighter.
Aldolfo is a lover of beautiful ladies. Some say I'm the king of romance.
Well, you know the best way to get back at a man is through his...
door!
Well, the best way to get back at a man is through his...
Oh, window!
No. The best way to get back at a man is through his...
There's no other ways. I'm not Santa Claus going down the chimney.
His woman.
His woman.
Yes, Aldolfo. You must seduce his woman.
His woman.
His bride.
Aldolfo will make love to the bride. That will show people Aldolfo is no scoundrel. Show me to the bride. Wait!
What?
What kind of woman is the bride? Is she a big woman? Is she a burly woman?
She's the cat's pajamas.
Pajama.
An attractive woman.
Show me to this cat in pajama. A butterfly will make her purr.
Stop it!
Like the cat in pajama.
Roman Bartelli chewing the scenery. Certainly couldn't get away with a performance like that nowadays, could you? No, modern contemporary audiences are too sophisticated for broad racial stereotypes on stage. So we banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out.
Kind enough to supply the liquor for today's party. But remember, Underling, we have to be discreet!
Yes, madam.
We'll have to use code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, what they really want is a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Maybe we should write it down.
I understand, madam. A glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka.
Good. Everything's settled then. One less thing to do. Underling, might I have a glass of ice water? I found our meeting with the pastry chefs rather trying, and I would like a nice, refreshing glass of ice water.
Your ice water, madam.
That's pure vodka, you poop!
I hate this scene.
I do need a glass of ice water.
A glass of ice water?
Yes, ice water. Are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
You can see where this is going. It's really just a series of spit takes.
Your ice water, madam.
That's pure vodka, you poop!
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone is quite progressive. A black actress as the aviatrix, for instance.
Your ice water, madam.
Lovely. That's pure vodka, you poop!
Yes, in some ways it was quite progressive, and in others it was stale in 1928. You know what? I'm just going to skip through.
Now, where are you going?
To find some lime juice, madam.
Lime juice? For heaven's sake, why?
I'm going to rearch my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
Now, I bet you're all wondering what that routine was doing in the show. It's very simple. There was a song coming up and they needed time to allow for a set change. It's mechanics. It's like pornography. Let me explain what I meant by that. In pornography, the story is simple. How can I pay for this pizza being the classic example? As in a musical, the story exists to connect the larger, more engaging production numbers. What? What kind of society do we live in if we can't compare musical theater and pornography?
In a few hours
This is the only time that Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone together on stage. Now, Jane Roberts was an emerging star, but Beatrice Stockwell was already well established and a force to contend with.
I'm so full of apprehension. I suppose it's normal considering the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
No, I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your ice water, madam. Unfortunately, we are fresh out of olives.
Have you ever been married, underling?
Heavens no, madam. If I'm to serve a woman, I'd rather be paid for my efforts.
You too. I know it seems crazy to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know, but somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big, monkey eyes, I get all woozy, and that's love, isn't it?
Not necessarily. The drowsiness can be caused by any number of things. I mean, I'm drowsy right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Beatrice Stockwell was well known for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired troops in every major world conflict, up to and including the Falklands War. Of course, by that time she was in her late 80s, and her anthems didn't so much rouse as stupefy. But still, she insisted that a rousing anthem be put in every show she did, even if it didn't make sense. But you just couldn't say no to her. That's star power.
You're really not being the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration? Really, dear, that's not my thing.
Oh, well, yes, but if...
As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the pool, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere. Never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth. Never knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble
That was quite nice, Chaperone, but I still don't see how it pertains to my situation.
Let me explain.
Oh, really, that's not necessary. I suppose I'm just looking for a sympathetic, maybe. Oh.
It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till there's nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica. Oh, please.
Antarctica, oh please.
Still, you mustn't let it lick you. This planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand. As we stumble along through life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we
about alcoholism. She shoehorned this number into the show. That's what I love about her. Just that whatever she wants, whenever she wants, regardless of the needs and concerns of others. My mother was like that.
That was quite inspiring, Chaperone, but I'm still conflicted. Oh, please just tell me, is Robert the man for me?
My dear, that's something you'll have to decide for yourself.
But I just don't know if he loves me.
Why don't you ask him then? Why don't you say, Brad? Do you love me?
It's Robert. And I'm not allowed to see him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him.
You're right. And I take that responsibility very seriously. However, I'm just this moment feeling terribly drowsy. I'm afraid I'll have to take a lighty down. Now, whatever you do, don't go wandering into the garden seeking out your fiancé to ask him the question upon which your future happiness depends.
Oh, thank you, Chaperone. I just have to know that he loves me.
Such a skinny little fool. Still, I envy her. When will love come crashing through my door?
La 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 la.
Look who it is. It's Adolfo come to seduce the bride.
I am Adolfo.
Try not to think of the poodles while you're listening to this.
I am Adolfo. And you are bride.
No, I am not.
What? This is bride sweet, and you're the only one here. Therefore, you must be bride.
Interesting argument, but I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me? No bride. Perhaps I can take a message.
Very well. Dear Van de Graaf bride, I must make love to you and transport you to the place of ecstasy. Sooner is better. Signed, Adolfo, King of Romance.
You saw through my little ruse. You found me out.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes. Take me, Aldalface.
Oh, no, not Aldalface. Adolfo! You must remember it, for when we are making love and you are screaming my name, you must get it right or it will ruin everything. How can I get you to remember? I am sure that you have heard the name Adolfo. A ladies' man with the claim Adolfo. Well, lovely miss, I am the same Adolfo. I introduce myself, I am Adolfo.
Nice to meet you, shall we?
Not so far, so just in case you didn't hear Adolfo, I'll try to make it very clear, Adolfo. The lovely ladies always cheer Adolfo. When I repeat myself, I am Adolfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high, Adolfo. I can sing it low, Adolfo. I can sing it very fast, I can sing it very slowly. I don't know, but something. It's it goes
That was my mother's favorite number in the show. Suppose it was always her secret fantasy to be swept off her feet by a vaguely European lover. I mean a real lover, not a buffoon. That's what musicals are all about, isn't it? Falling in love at the drop of a hat, spontaneous tangoing, suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting.
Don't worry, madam. I'm getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
I'm sorry, who am I speaking to anyhow?
Why, it's me. Me. From France.
The scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
So, you are marrying Jeanette Van de Graaff, no?
Oui.
I hear she is very glamorous.
Oui.
And beautiful.
Oui.
Is it true that she has an exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles?
Say, I'm having trouble placing your accent. What part of France are you from?
Oh, the middle part, where they, make the toast. You were telling me about, your, how do you say in English, fiancé?
That's right.
So, tell me, when was the moment you knew that she was the one for you?
It was a funny story, actually. We were standing on the Lido deck of the Ile de France, and, you know, I just thought, well, whoa!
And then what happened?
I was amusing her with stories of my father's oil interests, and I looked into her eyes, her big, glamorous eyes, and I just felt all woozy.
And then you fell. And then you fell?
Yes, right on my keister. And I said, well, I guess I don't have my sea legs yet.
But we haven't even left the dock.
That's what she said. And that's when I realized it must be love.
And then what happened?
And then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mishap about to ensue. I'm the toy on the stair, the three-legged chair, the hem that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my ankles could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So happy I happened to you. Then we kissed.
You kissed a strange French girl on your wedding day!
Oh no, what have I done? Wait! Who is this? Seems the fake French accent blindfold has caused quite the mess. Will it all end out well in the end? Of course it will. It's a musical. Things always go well in musicals. In real life, nothing ever goes well, but the only people who break into song and dance are hopelessly deranged.
Where's that philandering foreigner? How long can it take to seduce one bride?
Mr. Felton, you don't need Janet no more.
Kitty, not now.
I've been working on a rhyme renet. Presenting Kitty the Incomprehensible. Now, think of something.
Oh, I'm thinking of something, all right.
Wait, I'm getting it. Pick up some milk and a loaf of rye bread, and don't forget to shave your legs.
Reading your own mind, you idiot!
Oh, no wonder it was so easy.
Let's see.
It would seem that the wedding is proceeding according to schedule.
And now it's time you received your just desserts. What do you think, partner? Think we should whip up something special for Mr. Feltzy?
Yeah. How about a Toledo surprise?
Oh, an inspired choice.
Toledo surprise? I've never heard of that.
Oh, no, you haven't. That's because those people who have heard of it are generally never heard from again.
We'll share the recipe with you.
First you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough.
then bake it up, nice and slow.
Then you got your Toledo.
Toledo surprise!
Could you run that by me again?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Felton.
First you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough.
then bake it up, nice and slow.
Then you got your Toledo.
Toledo surprise! Why don't we give him a little taste?
All right.
What style? What grace? What rhythm? Open your fists. Now shake them. Now give me that recipe one more time. Da-da-da-da-da-da, go!
Chop the nuts, pound the dough, take it up, nice and slow, and you got your Toledo. Toledo surprise. Get it up, peel the skin, mush it up, throw it in. That's a tasty Toledo. Toledo surprise. First you beat it up, then you sweet it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, oh, let it, it's a snap. Try it, folks. And that's that. Curtain falls and it's time for intermission. Or at least it would be if we were actually sitting in the Roscoe Theater watching The Drowsy Chaperone, which, of course, we are not. I hate intermissions. They ruin the magic, you know? They yank you back into reality. One moment you're lost in a world of music and romance, and then bang, you're surrounded by tourists. Crinkling candy wrappers and nattering about the lack of women's restrooms. It's cruel. Oh, this? Howard Bar. Bit of a blood sugar issue, so I have to have small meals all throughout the day or I get jittery. I know it's rude, but you wouldn't like the alternative. Believe you me. Believe you me. I remember my wedding day. I didn't eat breakfast and my ceremony wasn't until 4 in the afternoon. I do. You're surprised that I was married. There you go. You shouldn't go making assumptions about people now, should you? I'm a very complicated man. I have to pee now. Don't worry, I'll be quick.